I was looking forward to Microsoft's quarterly conference call with Wall Street analysts because I knew they were going to need to address certain spending on artificial intelligence, especially as the latest developments with the Chinese company DeepSeek and how they were able to develop the technology at lower cost. There was increasing questions about Microsoft's AI spending. Will it continue? Why are they spending? And so that was addressed from Microsoft's management team, specifically from Microsoft's CEO. So I'll share some of the details with that in this video. I also wanted to see the company's development. How is the uptake in their AI business? Is it supported? Is their AI spending supported by increasing spending from customers? We saw some information regarding that as well. So their results are now become increasingly important because of the critical role they play in the AI industry overall. So let's take a look at what's going on with Microsoft.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, in the latest conference call, which was held on January 29th, 2025, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, who is doing a phenomenal job at the company, by the way, stated that the Microsoft Cloud surpassed $40 billion in revenue for the first time, and that was up 21% year over year. The rate of increase in the Microsoft Cloud business is coming down, and the profit margins also came down when I evaluated the details in their separately released financial statements. That was one of the reasons why Microsoft stock fell following the earnings release. However, the business overall is growing very nicely. The AI business specifically has now surpassed annual revenue run rate of $13 billion, and that was up 175% year over year. And so this does justify Microsoft increasing their spending, right? If you had a part of your business that was up by 175% year over year, and you saw that business and you saw customer interest for that business continue to soar, this would be a category you would want to invest in. I know I would. And so I can understand Microsoft investing in this category. They go on to discuss how they allocate their capital to computing, which is the category they talked about a couple of weeks before they announced their quarterly earnings. They highlighted that they would be increasing their spending on capital expenditures by roughly 60% year over year. In other words, they spent $50 billion last year on capital expenditures. They said they would increase that by another $30 billion, in total $80 billion for 2025. So the reasons why they're doing that partly is because the increasing revenue, as they highlighted earlier, and themselves in their own computing needs, they've noticed a huge increase in efficiency both in training and inference for years now. So on inference, they typically see more than 2x price performance gain for every hardware generation and more than 10x for every model generation due to software optimizations. And as AI becomes more efficient and accessible, they will see exponentially more demand. So this isn't linear growth. This is exponential growth, which is hard to come by in business, especially in business the size of Microsoft, where they already generate hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue. So just because of the law of large numbers, it's hard for Microsoft to generate growth of this magnitude. And they found a new opportunity that could drive the next level of growth. And so they're understandably excited about it. And they're understandably adding billions of dollars in investment in this category that's driving significant growth for the business. So they continue to expand their data center capacity in line with both their near-term and long-term demand signals. And what they mean by demand signals is not just the orders that they're getting from customers right now, but they're having conversations with customers about both their near-term needs and their long-term needs. And based on those conversations and based on those signs from their customers, they're investing on that category. So they're not just investing in this category based on some hope for something in the future that may or may not be there, right? One example of that is, let's say, Tesla investing in robotics, right? In humanoid robots. There is no actual demand from customers for that product. It's just something that Tesla is hoping will be there at some point in the future if they develop that technology. They're hoping that customers will buy that product. In fact, in the latest quarterly conference call, and I just published a video about this, Tesla was forecasting that demand would be $10 trillion for that product. And you can understand that these are numbers that they're mostly just making up to drive investor interest. There's no actual tangible customer interest for that product. That's not the way Microsoft does things, right? Microsoft is a whole other kind of business that is run based on profits and cash flow and revenue and conversations with customers. They're not doing things because of what they think they can do in terms of selling it to investors. They're operating the business based on improving the profits and cash flow in the business. And so that's what the Microsoft CEO is alluding to here when he talks about long-term and near-term customer demand signals. We're investing based on what we think we're going to get back from customers, and we're actually getting information from customers because they're buying our products today, they're buying our services today, they're ordering our products for next year, and they're telling us about what they're going to need 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and maybe even 8 years from now. Microsoft, interestingly, is buying products not just from NVIDIA. Of course, NVIDIA is the most notable beneficiary from this investment in artificial intelligence, but they're also buying the latest products from AMD. Their MI300X has proven to be an effective option, although, of course, nowhere near as effective as NVIDIA with the whole ecosystem NVIDIA offers with the software in combination with the hardware. But I was surprised to see Intel in this list here. Intel, I recently reviewed Intel's latest quarterly results, and Intel was losing market share across the board in nearly every category. I was surprised to see Microsoft name Intel in this list, but it's great news for Intel. Intel recently launched its own GPU as well, the Gaudi, and I haven't heard good reports about that product, but this is the first sign I'm seeing from Intel's product being mentioned by one of these large hyperscalers like Microsoft. So really interesting stuff here from Microsoft. Good news for the AI industry overall and all of the companies that play in the industry. They mentioned here AMD, Intel, NVIDIA. I could go on and list a dozen more companies that are connected to this ecosystem, including Taiwan Semiconductor, ASML, Micron, and others, and on, right? There's a whole ecosystem that will benefit from Microsoft's increase from $50 billion in capital expenditure in 2024 up to $80 billion in 2025. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce that my book is finally available for sale. I've been working on it for more than a year now, so I'm really excited to finally share this with you now. It goes through my framework for evaluating stocks. Some of you often ask why I like this stock or why I like the other stock, and this framework provides you the things that I look at when I'm evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.